All right, so one of the things that I didn't mention in the last video that we're doing here today also, that I didn't think would really be relevant to a lot of people, because if you're doing your first or one of your first projects, you're probably not going to want to you're not going to have one of these expensive Matterport cameras. It basically does a 3D scan of the property. But if you have access to somebody that has one, or you're okay spending a little bit of money so you have one of them, they really make your life a lot easier. I wasn't planning on doing a 3D scan of the floor plan in here initially, because we're doing, a really light rehab. It's really helpful to do it when you're doing floor plan changes or anything structural or bigger rehabs, because if you have a whole 3D model of the house, the floor plan, everything, it makes it really easy, to know, without perfect example, since this is like an hour and a half, 2-hour ride for me, rather than taking a 2-hour ride to see a property because I have a question on something that I don't remember. And even though I took a lot of pictures and videos, I can't tell enough about the thing from those pictures or videos. Let's say that I was moving a bathroom and there's this little bump out here, and I'm trying to figure out if I can have a vent stack go in there and we can do this floor plan change that we wanted. Having a 3D Matterport makes life a hell of a lot easier for you. But it is kind of a pain in the ass to do, honestly. I don't really like to do them myself. I like to have my wife or somebody else do them usually, but I'm here, so we're doing it. All it's got is this iPad app and the camera. You click a button, it starts spinning, and we run from it and get out of the way. And just let it spin, do its thing. You can either walk around it like an idiot, like I am, or go stand in a different room. That's an option too. As it does that scan, it'll take a second. It's thinking about where it is, and you'll see it pop up with that other scan, number 2, on the app there. If I click on it, can kind of see, this is hard to do with the hands I have. You can see what it scanned, just to kind of give you an idea if you've never seen a Matterport before. But what it'll do once we're done is it'll stitch all of these together and give us a virtual tour and 3D floor plan that, again, we can revert back to and see whatever we need to see. So that can be really helpful for you, especially on bigger projects, and it can be helpful to do throughout the project. For example, like going through and doing a Matterport after all your mechanicals are done, if you're doing a big rehab, and your electrical, your plumbing, all that stuff is done and drywall isn't up yet. I've found that it can be really helpful to go through, do a Matterport then, and if a receptacle gets covered, if anything gets covered that shouldn't have been covered, and you got to trace a wire or something, it's so much easier to just look at the Matterport and say, oh, well, there were, 1, 2, 3, 4 receptacles in this room when the rough electrical was done before the drywall. And now I noticed that one's not there anymore. So we know that there's a receptacle buried in the wall. Super helpful to have. Just another little tip and trick for you. So I'm gonna get it done. And why am I doing it here when, like I said, it's really a light rehab that we're doing? We're not doing a floor plan change. We're not going crazy. So why am I doing the Matterport? Simple answer is my carpet guy that I have. Rather than making him take a 2-hour trip down here just to measure, I'll be able to just give him the floor plans. He'll know exactly how much carpet or LVP, if we end up doing that, he needs to get, and it'll make life a little bit easier. And for documentation purposes or whatever I end up doing with documenting this process, it'll be cool to have the content also. So that's what I'm going to do.